Yesterday, Sayadaw explained that the sentence made up of 8 syllables, Paṇḍitā Sayadaw, covers the whole Satipatthana Sutta. So the sentence, Paṇḍitā Sayadaw, is a very concise instruction. Yogi should be mindful of the object in the way the object is, and by observing the object, one will discern the true nature. In observing and noting the object, one should note it with mental strength. One needs the mental strength of saddha, faith and confidence. One needs chanda, strong wish, in order to practice. And yesterday, Sayadaw gave a sample. If the person has to inhale polluted air, then the person will lose one's health. Having to inhale fresh air, both the mind and the body will be fresh and healthy. Knowing the benefit of fresh air, one will value fresh air, and one will have the strong wish to inhale fresh air. One will have strong wish to inhale fresh air. If the person has to inhale polluted air, the person will have strong wish to get fresh air, and by getting fresh air, the person feels fresh and healthy. So, in order to inhale fresh air, one should have strong wish to inhale, and one should make the effort to inhale fresh air, and one should inhale practically, one should breathe in practically the fresh air. So at times, yogis have to make a deep breath in order to... At times, the person has to make a deep breath in order to get the fresh air. In the same way, yogi has to be mindful of the presently arising object, Buddha, so as to purify the mind. So in order to purify the mind, one should have the strong wish to purify it, and one should practice with effort. Effort is also the mental strength needed to be mindful. As the object, as Buddha, arises, one should exert effort so that the noting mind reaches the object, and the mind will be purified. So one needs to invest effort in the practice. Without investing effort in the practice, one will not profit, and one needs to note the object with aim and effort. Buddha encouraged to be mindful of the object with aim and effort. And how one should be mindful? One should be mindful, Paṇḍitā, one should be mindful of the object in the way it really is. If there is heat, note it as hot. If it is cold, note it as cold. If it is stiff, note it as stiff. If it is tense, note it as tense. And yogis should be noting rising, falling, bending, stretching, lifting, moving, and placing. Satipatthana, meaning yogis should be mindful in the way the object is. In the nature, the object is. So yogi should know the object the moment the object arises with aim and effort. It is the duty of the yogi to be mindful. Yogi should be mindful every single second on the object that arises. There is no other thing that the yogi should do apart from being mindful of the object. In this way, yogi should be noting the object moment by moment, and yogi gains benefit of the practice. Both the mind and the body will feel fresh. Just as one has to inhale fresh air, one has to make the effort to breathe in fresh air, and one feels fresh. In the same way, one needs to practice, one needs to be mindful of the object with aim and effort. And as the yogi becomes skillful in the practice, the noting mind is automatically aimed at the object. The noting mind directs with the object, and thus the mind will be free from mithya vitaka, wrongful thoughts. If the yogi does not aim the mind onto the object, the mind will slip away from the object, the mind will go here and there, and defilements will arise. When the mind slips away from the object, the mind going here and there, the defilements such as kamacchanda, sensual desire, can arise, and there can be ill will, wanting to kill, wanting to torment others, and other defilements, envy, stinginess, jealousy, wanting to be cruel to others. Such kind of unwholesome mind can arise. If the person inhales polluted air for 1 minute, there will be 60 moments of breathing in polluted air. In the same way, when the yogi is not mindful for 1 minute, there will be 60 moments of defilement arising. The mind will be onto wrongful thoughts by lack of mindfulness, such as kama vitaka, sensual thoughts, yabada vitaka, ill will thoughts, vihimsa vitaka, cruel thoughts. In this way, not being mindful for 1 minute, there will be 60 moments the wrongful thoughts can arise. In the practice, if the yogi is not exerting effort in this high-class practice, kosakya, laziness, arises. When kosakya, laziness arises, other defilements arise one after another. Not being mindful, not exerting effort in the practice, unwholesomeness will arise one after another continuously like a stream of current. One has to note the object with aim and effort. Noting the object with aim and effort, the defilement cannot enter the mind. Yogis have to be working every single second by noting the object one after another, moment by moment. So if the yogi does not practice according to the guidance, yogis will be developing unwholesomeness, defilements arising one after another. If the yogi practice according to the guidance and instructions, yogi progress even within a short while. And if the yogi practice according to the guidance day after day, yogi will be developing knowledge. Each and every noting is very precious if the yogi notes properly. For the yogi who can calculate the value of each and every noting, such kind of yogi will practice respectfully. Yogi has to be mindful of the nama rupa that are arising as cause and effect, that are really existing at the present moment. And each moment of mindfulness is very precious. Noting properly each moment of mindfulness consists of sila, samadhi, and panya, morality, concentration, and wisdom. As the yogi practices developing sila, samadhi, and panya, when yogi attains Ariya Magga Jnana, past knowledge, she will be eradicating the defilement. And in each moment of mindfulness, yogi is removing the defilement momentarily. Noting the object respectfully, meticulously, yogi is removing defilement. And knowing the value of practice, yogi will practice diligently, continuously. When the notings are continuous, mindfulness is sustained on the object, samadhi concentration develops, and one discerns nama rupa, mind and matter. If the yogi is practicing in an easygoing manner, then mindfulness will not be continuous, samadhi concentration does not develop, and such kind of easygoing person will not be developing knowledge into mind and matter. The person will not be developing knowledge, and days go by without developing knowledge, and such kind of yogi will become yapya yogi, chronic yogi. So such kind of yogi is compared to chronic patient. The patient who takes medicine is not totally cured, and it is not fatal, but the patient has to live with illnesses, and the medicine cannot do any improvement to his or her health. So such kind of patient is chronic patient. In the same way, the kind of yogi who does not practice according to the guidance and instruction, the yogi who does not practice diligently will be a chronic yogi. So not to become a chronic yogi, yogi should be practicing according to the guidance and instruction, being mindful of whatever object that arises, noting them with aim and effort, noting the object with aim and effort, so the mindfulness will automatically develop. Samadhi concentration will develop. As the yogi gains skill in the practice, the mind becomes mature, the noting mind automatically becomes direct or face-to-face with the object. The noting mind falls calm and collected on the object, and yogi develops knowledge, discerning the characteristics of the object. Noting the object with aim and effort, salakhanato, yogi will discern the characteristics of the nama rupa. Discerning Pathavi, the earth element, yogi discerns hardness, stiffness, roughness. Apo Dhatu, water element, manifests as moisture, wetness. Apo Dhatu, the water element, cannot be discerned itself, but it is discerned combining with the other elements. For example, yogi may experience wetness, stickiness, hard congealing, soft congealing, heat congealing, cold congealing objects. In this way, yogi can discern Apo Dhatu, the water element, together with the other elements. When the yogi experiences congealing hardness, congealing softness, congealing heat, or congealing cold, then yogi experiences Abandana Apo, cohesion. Yogi experiences cohesion combining with other elements. By noting at the moment of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and knowing, yogi can discern the characteristic salakkhana or sabhava lakkhana, unique individual characteristics of the object. It is also called avenika lakkhana, as it is the unique characteristics owned by each and individual of the nama rupa. So in this way, yogis have to be mindful so that they discern the unique individual characteristics of each and individual nama rupa. The person who values health will take care not to get unhealthy. The person who values health will take care to prevent breathing in polluted air. And if the person has to go to certain place where the air is polluted, the person uses mask in order to prevent the polluted air. So nowadays, the illnesses such as H1N1 breaking out, so people are careful not to inhale the infectious air, and they keep masks in order to protect themselves. So just as people have to protect themselves from infectious disease that is contagious through the air, in the same way, it is very important to prevent the defilement from arising. One should be mindful, and if one is not mindful, the defilement infection can come in. Just as the person should not be negligent to prevent himself, herself from polluted air, in the same way, one should not be negligent from preventing defilement from arising. If there is negligence in refraining from polluted air, then the person's health will be ruined. So there should be apamada. Apamada meaning the person will not be negligent, non-failure. In the same way, yogi has to have apamada, non-failure from preventing the defilement from arising. So in this way, yogi should not be negligent, yogi should not fail to prevent the defilement from arising, just as the person should not be negligent from preventing polluted air. Not failing to breathe in fresh air, the body will feel fresh and the mind will feel fresh, and one gains the benefit. So in this way, there should be apamada, non-failure, non-negligence. In the same way, yogi should be non-negligent in preventing the defilement from arising. Just as fresh air is essential for everyone, in the same way, the Satipatthana is essential for everyone. Every being needs fresh air for the lungs in order to keep them fit. So it is essential for everyone, every being, to inhale fresh air. Because one gets air for free, some people may not realize the value of fresh air. But actually, fresh air is essential for every being. There are 4 factors in determining whether something is essential. For fresh air, the first factor is fresh air should be inhaled. One cannot do without inhaling fresh air. The second is one should inhale, one should breathe in fresh air by oneself. No other person can do it on his or her behalf. And the third factor is the person should inhale fresh air in a timely manner, in time, regularly. If the person does not have fresh air, then there will be dizziness, headache, and it is very important to inhale fresh air in time, regularly. And the fourth is, by inhaling fresh air, one gains benefits, such as the body becoming fresh and healthy. The blood circulation will be good, the health will be better. So in this way, based on these 4 factors, one can determine that fresh air is essential for every person, every being. Just as fresh air is essential for every person, every being, based on these 4 factors, in the same way, Satipatthana meditation is essential for everyone based on these 4 factors. In noting the object with aim and effort, knowledge develops. Even though the object is the same, the way the person comes to know depends on the way the person looks at it. Even though it is the same scenery, the example is given, even though there may be the same scenery, but as the way the person takes a look differently, the way person sees will be different. The example is given here. If there is a row of termites seen from a distance, the person may think it is a piece of rope, or the person may think it as a branch or a bamboo, looking it from a distance. But as the person takes a closer look, the person will see something moving, So the person comes to know that it is not a rope or a branch or a bamboo, but it must be some living creatures moving in a line. Taking a closer look, the person could differentiate that they were the creatures moving instead of inanimate thing like a branch or bamboo. As the person goes even closer, the person sees a group of 2 or 3 termites crawling one after another. And as the person is very close to the line of termites, the person sees each and individual termite crawling, the termite at front moving, and the next termite coming, the termite going, another termite coming. In this way, the person sees each and individual termite one by one crawling one after another. In the same way, when the yogi is mindful of the presently arising object, when the yogi notes the object very closely, when the mindfulness is very close to the object, yogi discerns that the old object dissolving, new object arising, old object dissolving, new object arising, the old giving rise to new. So the way the person comes to know differs according to how the person observes it. In this way, yogi should be observing the object very closely. Yogi should not lose sight of the object. Yogi should know the object with a strengthened mind, one after another. As the yogi knows the object rising of the abdomen, at first yogi may just perceive it as just one big rising. But later on, when the noting mind is very close to the object, yogi sees that the rising of the abdomen is not just one big rising, but like waves, segmented movement of rising. And the same goes with lifting, moving, placing. Yogi comes to see lifting of the foot in segmented movement or segmented lifting, lightness. In this way, yogi discerns very closely in detail as she notes the object with aim and effort, noting the object very closely. If the person's eyesight is not good, the person needs the help of spectacle in order to see things clearly. With the help of the spectacle, appropriate spectacle, the person can see clearly, just like the person has good eyes. If the things are small, the person needs to see it magnified, so the person needs magnifying glass, which can magnify it 10 times, 20 times, and so on. Just as the person needs to look at the small object with a magnifying glass, in the same way, yogi has to observe the nama rupa that are very subtle with a strengthened mind, with a mental strength such as saddha, faith and confidence, viriya, effort, jhana, strong wish, and vitakka, aiming, directing the mind onto the object, effort, sustained mindfulness, and the collectedness of the mind, one-pointedness of the mind. When observing the subtle object with these mental strength, yogi will see the object in a very detailed, clear-cut manner. So just as the person needs spectacles or magnifying glass in order to see things in detail, in the same way, yogi needs to practice Satipatthana meditation, and yogi needs the mental strength, Saddha, Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, in order to see things in detail, in clear-cut manner. So may you all be able to practice, may you all be able to do the duty of noting the object with aim, effort, sustained mindfulness, so that you can see the object very clearly in a clear-cut manner. And this will be all for today. Sadhu, sadhu.